Okay, let's get serious here. What is the Amazon criteria in products that you need to avoid because otherwise it will drain your money? Hello, my name is Karina. Welcome back to my Amazon channel where I teach you how to sell on Amazon in a very low risk and profitable way. You can check out all of my programs down below. I have an introduction one, everything you need to know about product research. You can join it for $7 at theplclub.com. I also have my full program and also my advanced PPC program. And why are these things important? Because it will save you a lot of mistakes. Because I do coaching and I have seen students send me these pictures of these markets and I already know it's going to drain their bank account, and I tell them to pull the plug immediately. And everything I teach to my students is not in line with this strategy. So what should we avoid? The first thing is a lot more common than you think and might surprise you, and that is products with high revenue. Say a product is doing $100,000 in sales a month. Why on earth would you not want to get a piece of that market, right? If you're making 100K in revenue, then how much profit is that? Even 30% would be $30,000. Seems easy enough. However, the problem is that not only you want a piece of that pie, so does everybody else, including the manufacturers in China themselves, who have complete access to this product at the very, very low cost. So they can outcompete you on price. And yes, they do this. They enter American markets and they dominate their competition because they're able to actually lower their price enough where everybody becomes unprofitable except for them. Also, those high markets are really hard to rank in organically and just will spend a lot of money in a guessing game, so strongly avoid those. The second thing to avoid is actually new markets. Say it has under 100 reviews. You'll actually see the first page of these markets, and oftentimes they are flooded with reviews that have 10 or 5 or 8, and it seems like a dream come true. And they're doing really well in revenue, 5,000 and above, maybe 7,000 or even 30,000. But the problem is it's not a new market. A lot of the time, it's simply a market that has a high turnover rate. What that means is everybody acknowledges that maybe it's a trend, maybe a new movie came out and this product is popular with the audience, and everybody is jumping on that trend. And over time, every single day basically, new sellers boot off older sellers in the first page. So say you do actually launch your product and you are on the first page. What's going to happen is a new seller is going to come in the next day and you'll be on page 2 or page 3. And it's just a never-ending cycle. So if you are in a market and you are questioning, then look at the age of all the listings. If they're all suspiciously new, then that's not a good sign. There are not that many good new markets in Amazon, and it's always safer to go for something that has shown data in the past. The third thing to avoid are expensive products. Now, they often have good margins, and I've seen markets that look good and the revenue is quite healthy. But the problem is, in order to test this market, you will need a lot of cash in the beginning to put for inventory. Say a product is $250 for 1 unit and you want to order 100 units. Well, maybe the product costs, let's say $100 or $200, and maybe your profit is $50, which seems like a lot. But you will have to put all that money up front, and it just really increases your risk. I like to go for mid-range products anywhere from $12 to below $50. That's usually the sweet spot, but I cover all of this advanced criteria in all of my programs. The fourth thing you want to absolutely avoid is products with a long lead time and also a long shipping time. Now, these are not as bad because if the market is relatively old and it's still not competitive, and if you kind of have your spot on page 1 already, it's not really that big of a deal, because you already know that your product is doing well, especially if you don't go out of stock. But if it's a first-time product that you're planning on or really testing the market, note that you will have to order your inventory a lot in advance to not run out of stock. Because if the lead time is a month and the shipping time is a month, that's 2 months, and you don't want to be out of stock for 2 months because then you lose your rank in Amazon, and that is simply not what you want to do. So you will have to order 2 months of inventory in advance, which is very heavy on the pocket. And the last thing is avoiding high volume keywords. Again, this seems really counterintuitive because you would think that the more keywords there are, then the more searchers there are, which means more demand and people are purchasing the product more. But that is wrong. Sure, they might be purchasing the product more, but your competitors know this as well. So they will launch those products, and oftentimes those are the oversaturated markets. And a lot of people are running PPC ads for those keywords because they want to get the traffic. So the cost per click is going to be much more expensive. And since there is so much competition, the chances of somebody purchasing your product, everyone else, are a lot slimmer. So although you still want a good amount of search volume, you will actually notice that some lower search volume words, or a niche, for example, that has, let's say, 3,000 or 5,000 or anywhere really under 15,000, will have a lot of higher conversions, which means anyone who clicks on the product, there's a higher chance of them buying it. Oftentimes, these are really targeted niches and people have a really high interest in them. But if you are comparing a product with a really high search volume, the problem is that the keyword is often really broad and there are many words that can describe a certain product. So for example, someone puts in office supplies, that could literally be anything. So it's also very, very dilute and there is no guarantee that the person is actually going to purchase your product. So those are 5 things to avoid when looking at your product research. I hope that this was helpful. Do subscribe to grow your Amazon business. Like the video if you enjoyed it and check out all my links and resources down below. It's been fun. I'll see you in the next video.